Speaking of priorities, what are the top 3 to 5 things that must get done in your business?
On a daily basis,
Yes.
client work and communication, I would put those as separate things because it can be easier to just sort of take care of the work and like forget to communicate. So I like to make sure I'm on top of my communication. And definitely, I mean, I would say my planning time is one of those really important things to me, because if I sit down and I'm, like I said before, this is something that sometimes I do. I'm like, I'm too busy today to sit and have my precious planning time. Like, I just need to get to work. It's a mistake every time because I have not like properly grounded and prepared myself, and I feel like I'm flailing and I'm just out here trying to like do all of this stuff, and it's just not possible. So it's really important for me to just sit down and make sure that I know in a day what I need to get done and when I'm going to do it. I don't time block like my weeks, but I like to time block my day as it comes. And I'll be like, okay, I have, an hour and a half before the next meeting. I'm going to spend that time doing this. And I also have had to learn how to manage my energy. So if I have a meeting, I'm not going to hop off that meeting and get back to writing. That's not going to happen. Whether it's a discovery meeting, whether it's a kickoff call, whether it's, checking in on edits or something like that. Usually I get a lot of energy from speaking with people, but like my brain is kind of going crazy. And I just cannot okay, now it's focus time again. I can't do that. So understanding how my day is going to look and what I can reasonably expect from hour to hour is really important. It is important. I spend an hour to an hour and a half a day on my big business goals, whatever that is. Now, occasionally this does not happen if I'm really busy and I have a deadline or whatever. That doesn't always make it, but I try to rather than spend a huge chunk of time on, whatever the project is. So if in a quarter I have as an area of focus, something that would include putting together a webinar. Mm-hmm. I want to spend some time every day doing something to move that forward. So it has to be something for me and my business, not just my client work, but my business. And I've been trying to be more, I really like to hang out on my email, but I've been trying to be more active on Instagram. So now I'm like, okay, what can I add to my stories today? Or if, something occurs to me or the mood strikes me, I'll like get on my stories and I'll talk about it. So I don't post to my feed a lot, but I've been trying to sort of become more active in my stories. That's something else that I've been doing.
Yeah. And thank you so much for mentioning that after a meeting, sometimes you have to kind of alter your expectations for how much writing you can get. And you can't dive into writing. Like, I really needed to hear that. I've been struggling with this, but I haven't accepted it yet. Like, you notice that you accepted it, you plan for it. I keep feeling defective because after a meeting, like, I cannot write. And I'm like, what is wrong with me? Like, why do I need so much decompressed time after a meeting? I didn't know other people had this issue too. So thank you for sharing that. Maybe other people needed to hear that since I needed to hear that.
It took me a while to figure out. I mean, I think it just takes you, it's always a work in progress, learning how to manage your energy and like how you're going to work at your best from day to day. And this is another reason why I try on the top of my every day. So I use my month manual, but I also plan my week in Trello. So every day has sort of a list. And the top 3 things that I ask myself every day when I'm figuring out what I'm doing is, number 1, is this a high capacity day or a low capacity day? Because some days for various reasons are just not. And that is the perfect example is, do I have meetings today? Am I going to get really jazzed after a meeting and I'm not going to be like, that's great. I'm going to say this is low capacity because I'm doing something important, but I'm not going to be able to have a lot of output. What can I just offload completely? I call this my Chanel rule. I don't even know if this is true, but do you ever hear the thing where Chanel would say, like, when you're leaving the house, to accessorize yourself perfectly, when you're leaving the house, take something off. So I do the same thing. Whenever I plan my day, I literally make a list and then I look at it and I go, what can I lose? Realistically, what could wait until tomorrow? And I scratch it off and I move it to the next day because I always overplan. Mm-hmm. I think I've got time and I don't ever. And so rather than set myself up for failure, I just look and I think, what can wait until tomorrow? And then I will move it off. And then also just asking where I might be able to ask for help, because that's something that I don't always think to do. But like if I'm struggling with a decision, Maybe I don't want to send out a proposal because I don't know what to think about pricing. That's something I can ask for help. I have a network I can go to and ask for support.
Mhm.
Maybe it's like some dumb tech thing that's been holding me back because I'm not great at tech and my husband can help me. So it's just kind of like I have to remind myself to think about it and ask for help where it makes sense. So I do those 3 things every day to try to help me keep going.
That is
And I
so
find it to be really
juicy.
cool.
Oh my gosh, I'm gonna have to start doing that. And especially like there's something called spoon theory where if you have like variable
I know
energy
it.
by the day, yeah, I'm a spoonie,
Yeah.
you're a spoonie. So like I don't always have a lot of spoons, but I don't like I need to put that into my planning for the day. Is this a high capacity day or low capacity day? And I over plan, so I like the what can I lose? That is great. And then where can I ask for? I'm pretty good about that because I like leveraging experts and coaches and accountability partners. But to look at it every day, that's actually a good idea. So I'm actually going to steal this and put it in my pocket. And I'm going to use that strategy.
Good.